This is your FID assignment number 2. This is going to be all about the metric system. So we're going to talk about metric system conversions in this quick little lesson. We'll do a couple metric system conversions, and then you'll wrap up your FID assignment by actually completing slide number 1, the activity with the goofy riddle that's on there. Everything that's in this presentation is from the Splash Learn website, and it's a section all about the metric system. So we're using that to help guide our discussion today. So, what is the metric system? The metric system is basically another system of measuring things. We traditionally use the English system of measurement, which includes feet and miles, and we have pounds, we have ounces, and gallons, and pints, and cups as our system, but the metric system is more widely used around the world. So, if you go to another country, especially in Europe, they're using the metric system. The metric system also gets used in science class. So, you can see a couple of the bullet points that are right here. You do have meters, which measures distances and lengths. This is your base unit of the metric system for length. They show here some distances. If you actually look on the car, you can have things in kilometers. You can actually see the speed instead of miles per hour. There's actually a kilometers per hour on different cars as well. There is a weight. If you take a look at a bag of snacks, it'll typically have grams listed on there as well as ounces and or pounds. So gram is your unit of weight. And then if we talk about drinks, we look at a different bottle of a favorite beverage, there's going to be a volume that's mentioned. For us with the English system, we typically use fluid ounces for this, but you'll also see liters and or milliliters on there, which is a metric system measurement of volume. So here you go. Here's a quick little chart. So when we talk about length, we're looking at the length of a highway. We see cm, dm, m, km. Those are all metric system abbreviations. They represent different parts of a meter and or the meter. We have volume, which is what something can hold, the capacity of it. And then we also have a weight here. So that's that page for you. Metric units, we have a whole bunch of different prefixes that happen with metric units, and we're going to kind of break those down in just a second. But with length, you can see millimeter, decimeter, centimeter, meter, kilometer. We can also see decameter. It's just not as widely used, but we'll actually see that and we'll work with it in some of our conversions today. So length, you can obviously tell how long or wide or tall an object is. When we talk about grams, our base unit is going to be when we talk about weight, our base unit is going to be the gram. We also see grams, kilograms, centigrams, and we can measure different weights. Capacity, your most common ones are going to be milliliter and liter, but we do have all the other ones with all the other prefixes as well. So metric conversions, our 3 base units are going to be meter, gram, and liter based on the different things that you are measuring. So length, you're going to measure meter, weight, you're going to measure with a gram, and capacity, you're going to measure with liters. On this next slide right here, you can see these are all of what we call our different prefixes. So when we talk about the prefixes, we see kilo, hecto, deca. Our base unit would go here. So this is where we put the meter, the liter, or the gram. So we have base unit goes in the center here, and then we have a deci, a centi, and a milli. These units, as we go more towards the right, are the smaller units, and units up towards the left are the bigger units. When you talk about kilometers, that's more along the lines of more like our miles of what we typically see. On a ruler, if you actually take a look at the opposite side of where inches are, we see centimeters that are marked in there, and there's 10 millimeters for every centimeter. So the cool part is with the metric system is that they are based on base 10, which is also what our number system is based on. So to be able to do the conversions between these, all we have to do is actually move our decimal point. So we're going to be using base 10s here. We can see there's a couple more pieces of information given on this slide right here. I'm not going to go through all these pieces, but that's basically what it says, is that it's based on the number 10. So moving to the right, we're looking at smaller units. So each unit is 10 times smaller, or a tenth of the unit to its left. Units going up to the left are bigger than the base unit. So as we move left, it's 10 times greater than the units to the right side. So again, we have this chart that we have right here that just helps us remind us of this. And this is going to be found on slide 2 in your FID assignment so that you can reference back to it as well. Prefixes, when we look at them, kilo is just going to have the letter K. Hecto would just have the letter H. Deca is special. It's going to actually have DA to represent it. And then here we have our base unit. M is going to be meter. Capital L would be for liter. And a lowercase g would be for gram. When we talk about deci of these, we use a lowercase d. Centi, we start with a lowercase c. And for milli, we start with a lowercase m. So you're going to see those abbreviations when we actually go to do our conversions. So metric system in our daily life, we don't typically see this as much. It is located on a lot of our food and everything, but other countries actually buy gas instead of in a gallon, because gallon is an English system measurement. They actually buy gas by the liter. So there's a lot of different ways that we see them, and we are going to more commonly see our English standard units, which is why we don't really talk about these as much. So let's go to a couple conversions here. So a quick way to remember how these go, what order they go in, is a little phrase that goes, King Henry died by drinking chocolate milk. It was one that I learned back in school, and it's one that's kind of a common one. There are a whole bunch of others, just like remember when we learned the little words for PEMDAS. There's a whole bunch of different other things that you can use, but this is what I do. So King, kilo, Henry, hecto, died is for deca. By is going to give you your base unit. Deci is going to give you D. Centi is going to be the chocolate, C. And milk is going to be for your milli. So if we want to convert from 52 meters to millimeters, we want to first figure out on the number 52, where is our decimal point? Since it's a whole number, our decimal point is out here after the number to the right of the final number that's in the ones place there. Meters are located right here in our base unit. We want to go to millimeters, which is all the way down here at the right. So we're going to have to move our decimal point 1, 2, 3 spaces to the right. So from here on 52, and I'm just going to rewrite this, I'm going to move my decimal point 1, 2, 3 spaces to the right. And in those spots, I need to put in zeros as placeholders. Since my decimal point is here, this is a whole number. So I have 52 meters is equal to 52,000 millimeters. And that makes sense because millimeters are a lot smaller. So we're going to have a lot of them in order to get that 52 meters. For our next example, I'm going to erase this up here. We have 125 centiliters is equal to blank decaliters. Notice the DA that's right there. So at 125, we're right here at centiliters to start, and we're trying to go over to here. So we're going to have to move 1, 2, 3 spots to the left. My decimal point is right here on the end. So if I move, I go 1, 2, 3 spots, and it's going to go right here in front of the 1. Because I know I don't ever start off something with a decimal point, I put 0.125. And again, I'm going to erase this up here and move on to the next example. So our next one is kilometers to meters. So we're going to start over here at kilometers, and we're going to work our way to meters. 1, 2, 3 spots to the right. So I'm going to take my decimal point, 1, 2, 3 spots to the right. So it's in between the 5 and the 2. So I have 5.24 meters. So 0.00524 kilometers is equal to 5.24 meters. The final example that we have on here is 24 decagrams to centigrams. Decagrams is here, 1, 2, 3 spots to the right. So I'm going to take my decimal point, it is after the 4, and I'm going to move 1, 2, 3 spots to the right. And that's going to give me 24 followed by 3 zeros in the placeholders. So that's 24,000 centigrams. So that's how you do metric conversions. All you're doing is figuring out where you start to where you end, and you move your decimal point that many places, either to the left or to the right.